Alright, so let's take a look at the Battle of the Bulge, Cells, or Calais, however you want to call it. Pretty much the end of the arrowhead or the puncture that the Germans had put in the Allies' lines during the Battle of the Bulge. That was pretty much the extent. So close to the Meuse River and couldn't do anything about it. Supplies, fuel, American and British armor closing on them. I'm amazed at the number of panzer divisions that actually got down there. So, I just finished up playing the Great Battles of the American Civil War, the Third Winchester one, and I thought I'd roll through one of these small Revolution games. I got this one, it was what, 33% off? So, I think maybe $12 at the most. Not a big game. You can definitely play this game in one sitting. Almost like playing a fast game of chess with some hitches in it. Gorgeous map for, it covers a large area, but it's just a small map. Not even a full poster size map. It's got 88 counters in it. Not a whole lot of informational stuff that you need. You've got some tactical use counters for each side. There's like 4 for the Allies and 3 for the Germans. The Allies have like units from 4 divisions, I think. 4 divisions, and the Germans have units from 5 divisions. Why one of them, even the Führer Brigade, why they even come on, I'm not sure, because 2 turns later you got to withdraw them. So it's either you get them on and rush them straight across the map over against the river, which I wasn't able to do, and hopefully they can accumulate a victory point. So the game is chit pull, and it's got a unique little feature to it. If you look on the chart here, you'll see there's little colored squares, green and gray. Green obviously for the Allies, gray for the Germans. And that's how many on each turn. That's how many, we'll say, activations. So unit activations you can use. Then you have a chart over here that tells you how many activation chits per turn for each unit or for each day. So, and you got a daytime and a nighttime turn for each one. So that's how many you put in your cup. And then along with that, you put in your little specialty, your tactical chits, which, like I said, there's 4 for the Allies and 3 for the Germans, and you put them in the cup. You do an initiative roll. If it's a nighttime turn, the Germans get a +1 on initiative. If it's daytime, the Allies do. All right, which, okay, made sense because the Allies would have had the advantage during the day anyhow, especially if the weather had ever cleared so they could fly. So, and plus they had the supplies. The Germans didn't have the supplies. All right, so you might drop 5 activation chits in your cup, but you may only get 3 activations. So, for example, on the last turn here, on the 27th, the Germans only got 2 activations, and the Allies got 3. Well, the Germans got their first activation in, and then the Allies draw this little tactical chit in their activation that says Allied Air. All right, you play that immediately, and you remove 1 activation from the Axis. So the Germans only ended up getting 1 activation. They didn't even get to do their second one. And I had these units here from 9th Panzer. I think I moved him the wrong way, but they could have probably got over there against the river and picked up another couple points. So they only ended up with 2 units against the river. And this is where the majority of the German victory points come from. They get a point for every unit, every turn, that is adjacent to the Meuse River and is in supply. I never had any supply because you don't have to use roads, you just have to have a clear path back to your supply sources, which that was fairly easy in this game. So supply really isn't a big deal. Trying to pin a unit in so that if you forced him to retreat, he couldn't retreat. That was tough to do, but I think I did that twice. So I finished playing the game. There are some city hexes that you get a point for at the end of the game, and for step losses. And poor 84th Infantry Division, that's all that's left is the truck and the unit underneath them. And they had a replacement that I used. It's one of their tactical chits, but he never got a chance to come on the board. So he pretty much lost all his units. So I was thinking, you know, okay, well, all right. That beat them up pretty good, but all of the Allied armor, the other divisions, they might have had a step loss, but they didn't have any destroyed units. So I thought, okay, well, the Allies did the better of it. Plus, their army units are a lot more powerful. Turns out, after I was done, it ended up with the Germans having 6 victory points, and whoever has the most victory points wins. So you have, like in great campaigns in the American Civil War, you have, at the bottom there, you'll see light attack, medium attack, heavy attack. That's how many movement points. You do your attacks on the move. Now, interesting little thing is here is if you're attacking, and there are units that were sitting next to the unit you're attacking, regardless of what status they're in, you can apply them to the attack, which helped in a lot of cases. But usually those guys, you know, if they were on their full strength side, it was usually a big help. When a unit when he's done his movement in combat or combat, you flip him over to his use side, so his stats are like cut in half. Which that was another interesting little feature that I'd never seen in a game before. So, and then you get all these pluses or minuses depending on, you know, is it a heavy attack, medium attack, light attack? Is it, if it's nighttime, the Germans get a +1. If it's daytime, the Allies get a +1. Is somebody in a town, or they behind a minor river, are they in a village? You know, you get your pluses and minuses. And then you also have this infiltration table. So an armor unit, or a motorized unit, which armor, mechanized, whatever, you could move from zone of control to zone of control of the same unit, but you had to use this infiltration chart. You had to roll on this infiltration chart. Infantry is a little different. They could move, and all they had to do was use the infiltration chart. The mechanized units, they had to pay a cost and use the chart. So I think I only had to try that one time, and it failed, so the unit didn't get moved. Matter of fact, it was a German division that was pinned in by these units right here. And I think they actually knocked him out because he wasn't able to retreat. So this game could literally be played if you just sit there and grinded it out. There's not a whole lot of, you know, moving parts to it. So you could sit down in a couple hours, maybe an evening, and you could play this game. So if you wanted something you could play fast, it's not a bad little game. It's got like a 9 or 10 page rule book. Easy reading. I thought at first I had some pieces missing, but then I realized I wasn't looking at it right. Everything's there. 88 counters, and the game plays pretty smooth. You just follow your activations, and it's cool because if you're drawing for the German, and he reaches into the cup and he pulls out one of the tactical chits, he keeps pulling until he hits an activation marker, and he can use his tactical chits on the spot before he executes whatever unit's activated. So you might get like they had one called nighttime replacement where they could replace one step of a unit on the map, or, you know, replace one that's in the dead pool during a night turn. And I had to use that a couple times, and I had to use it on the map a couple times when I drew it. But like I said, you can only use that one on night turns. You have an extra move tactical chit, which means you could pick a unit from any other division that's not activated and move one unit. And then you might activate that unit on the next pick, and then he's moving again. So that was a plus to that. Allied Air, I think, was the biggest one that affected everything. And then both of them have a combat +1 or -1 modifier that you could either use on defense or use on offense. So, good game. Small. Plays fast. Worth the, was it $12 I paid for it? 12 or 14, I can't remember. Yeah, I think so. I think it's something, you know, if you wanted to play through a quick game with somebody, this would be a good one to do it with. Covers, you know, the final race trying to get to the Meuse River and get those crossings, even though they really had no supplies. And I think this could go either way. Now that I understand what the victory conditions are, maybe might apply the Allies in a little more force, although there's not a ton of units on the board, and the Allies don't really get a ton of units. Their armor's pretty strong. It's stronger than all of the German units, but there's more of the German armored units. So, but 2nd Armored Division, they did a great job of keeping them in check. But like I say, 6 points. that won the game for the Germans. All right, so this was Soleil Battles of the Bulge from Revolution Games. If you can get your hands on it, I recommend you get your hands on it. It's worth, I don't know if they still got it on sale or not, but it was one of the bunch that I picked up. I think I picked up 5 or 6 games during their 33% sale. And I'm probably going to jump into Poland Defiant, will be maybe the next one, and this one I play. Can't remember what the other one was I got. Oh, Red Typhoon, so which I think is one of the offensives in 43 or 42, I can't remember. But anyhow, you'll probably see one of those here on the table soon. All right, so that's the end of that one. Like I say, quick playthrough. Sorry I didn't show. I probably could have played this one and filmed it while I was playing it. Just a quickie, just to sort of break my 2.5 week ordeal with the third battle in Winchester, which I'm going to be, looks like I'm going to be jumping right back into another big one of those here shortly too. I did pick up some of Multiman's great campaigns of the Civil War. I think I picked up Atlanta's Ours and Roads to Gettysburg too, and I pre-ordered Hood Strikes North along with the new, was it Stonewall Jackson's Way 2 that's coming in that box. I really want to get back into those, but I'm kind of bitten by the regiment level Civil War games right now, so looks like I might be pulling out 3 Days of Gettysburg here. I'm not sure yet. All right, well, anyway, if you enjoyed this, give it a like so that I'll give me a little incentive to keep going. And if you want to keep up to date, subscribe and smack that bell so that you can get updates when I post something new. All right, we'll get this thing posted and we'll talk to y'all later.